Kristen Steps here with TPP Theme Park Plunge. And I wanted to take a minute here and make a video about what could be next for Zamperla after the launch of Top Thrill 2. Let's get into it. So I got to attend opening weekend at Cedar Point and experience Top Thrill 2. I got to ride it 3 times, twice on Saturday, once in the fast lane, once in the regular lane, and then once in the regular lane on Sunday. And I had just an amazing time. This ride, I mean, really nothing else is really like it. One thing I did notice, though, is that during my first ride, it didn't seem as fast or have as much airtime as the second ride that day or the day on Sunday. And the wind was a lot stronger that day. And so now we're seeing some things this weekend where on, I think it was like Thursday, we saw some rollbacks. We saw it look like it was about to stall on top of the top hat. And we've had some wind issues. I do think these issues will dissipate, and I do think that they are related to the weather in May at Cedar Point and being near the lake. That being said, other than that, once this ride continues all summer long, shows its reliability, shows things like that, I do think that this is going to be a big, huge success for Zamperla. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have in store next, or who is going to hire them now that they have this big project under their belt. Because historically, they've been known for Wild Mouse, flat rides, things like that. And granted, Wild Mouse at Cedar Point, great Wild Mouse ride. I enjoyed it a lot. There's a huge difference between the Wild Mouse and what you're getting on Top Thrill 2. Top Thrill 2 is a legendary roller coaster this year. Obviously, it's huge. Not every day, whether it's a reopening of a reimagined ride or a brand new ride, do you get a roller coaster that is of that tall and of that speed. So, now that I've experienced that, I've sat in the lightning trains that they have, I would really like to see more. I 100% do want to see more. I would like to see rides very much reminiscent to what Intamin did with Velocicoaster, Pantheon, and even Skyrush. These trains they have could be used to do lots of different types of roller coasters. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more. You know, I look at places like Kings Island and I see what they have like in store in their little survey, a 300-foot dive coaster. No, thank you. I've been on enough dive coasters. They're okay, but they're not showstopper roller coasters. Nothing like a Top Thrill 2 or a Pantheon or a Velocicoaster, in my opinion. I also love B&M Hypercoasters and Giga Coasters. I think those are top tier rides as well and in the same category. But they just, they're everywhere already. At least they're in Ohio and things like that. We're not going to see that. So what I'd really like to see now is a looper at Kings Island. I know they have these other ideas, but like to me, you tear down the vortex. You really have to bring back a coaster that has inversions, a classic looping roller coaster. In this case, a more modern version, which would include a launch and things like that. Why couldn't Zamperla do something like that? A replacement for the vortex, maybe something similar to the experiences that you get on, like I said, a Velocicoaster, maybe even a Maverick. Now, obviously, that's not the best fit for Kings Island being so close to Cedar Point, but somewhere you could do these things. Could we see some other locations that might be deserving of a ride of the speed and or heights of something like Top Thrill 2? Obviously, we have King Ka in Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey. Could we see the reimagining of that particular attraction? I would say if this proves reliable over the summer, it's highly likely, especially if the merger happens, that King Ka is addressed. And if the management is a lot of Cedar Fair management, it's a good chance that it'll be Zamperla that does this. But again, if you're looking for a lot of things that are going to give you that height and that amount of speed, there's very few places that are going to want to put in the investment for something of 120 miles per hour. One place that sticks out like a sore thumb that could eventually do something like that, and obviously I don't think it's in their immediate plans, but something like Canada's Wonderland, their attendance is very similar to that of a Kings Island or a Cedar Point. So yes, I do think there are a few locations that maybe could get something that big. But for the most part, I would like to see them utilize their technology and their trains and things like that to give a more commonly seen roller coaster style, such as, like I said, a Maverick or a Velocicoaster or a Pantheon, something like that. And I do think they have the technology to do it. And I'd really like to see them get another chance because, listen, I mean, a lot of companies aren't taking chances on Intamin, and some are. And Intamin rides are of my favorite rides. And I really think that they did a very good job on their trains. Their trains were slightly better for me than the train on Pantheon, which I got to experience at the beginning of April. They're both very top tier trains, very comfortable. They accept a lot of different types of people's body sizes and sizes. It allows for the most amount of people to ride the ride. And I think the one on Zamperla's Top Thrill 2, that ride and that train is just slightly above the Intamin trains as far as allowing a few more guests. They're able to squeak a few more guests through due to the room that's on that train. But both of them are absolutely phenomenal. So I'd really hope to see more for Zamperla on that thrill aspect, specifically in launched and steel roller coasters. And I think that there definitely could be more to see. And I'm hoping that Top Thrill 2, after this weather subsides, that this summer, this ride is proven as a performer and reliability and consistency, and that we could see Zamperla continue to move on in the roller coaster creation wars. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think this ride is going to be a reliable performer? And do you think Zamperla is going to get another chance? And what would you like to see from Zamperla? I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.